is real, it's the next episode.
Welcome back to another episode. In this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to move forward with the concept of these automation of the 18650 recovery. I think the first thing we should talk about is thank you guys for giving so many constructive comments. Since having revealed my ideas about making a machine that is automated, it's kind of sparked a lot of people. A lot of people got very enthusiastic about it, including myself, obviously, and it's really driven me to move forward with this in a big way. As with anything, it's good to give a project a name. So I think we should give this project a name, because personally, saying the semi-automatic 18650 recovery project takes too damn long. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to keep it very short, but it kind of answers my son's question. My son's question was, why are you doing this? Well, about 2 years ago, there's a chap called Elon Musk, and he made mainstream news, and I discovered that he had created an electric vehicle. But it wasn't the fact that he'd created the electric vehicle, he was actually creating a movement about energy storage. Now, I know about energy storage. It's been around since the 70s, where people were living off the grid and storing them in lead acid batteries, but this was completely something else. And the more I looked into this, the more it kind of took me by surprise that I had not known about this. And in this time as well, I was using YouTube because I've given up on mainstream media, and I came across this person who took a VW bus and converted it into an electric bus, and that blew my mind as well. Now, he's an average Joe. Okay, he's got a business, he's a very creative average Joe, but he's no qualified engineer, but he has all the skill sets of being a great engineer. And that one skill set he has is that when there's a problem, he finds a solution. And that's the crux of being an engineer. There's a problem, find a solution. And that totally inspired me. He inspired me because he not only had he gone around and tried to work this out himself, but he'd actually gone and shared this with the community out there. And he shared it in such an eloquent way that was very engaging and very absorbing. And 2 years on, it just kind of absorbed me that I want to do the same thing, and I want to do something that would help that community, and that's where we are today. So in honor of Jehu Garcia, who's the person we were talking about here, I want to name this project after him as a way of saying thank you. So the project will be known as Project Jehu, and what we'll do is we'll progress forward with the concept that I've come up with. And how I want to structure these few episodes that are coming up ahead is that I want to do it as a brainstorming session. So I'll come up with an initial concept, explain what this concept does, and then hopefully you guys can give some constructive feedback in the comment section, and then we can evolve that design into version 2, version 3, or so on, and do some prototyping. When it comes to the comments, it would be ideal that instead of just saying something's rubbish, just say something's rubbish, but give a reason as to why it's rubbish and how it can be improved. It's easy for people to say something's rubbish but not give something constructive about that. And it's also good to share your reasoning behind why it's rubbish. Remember, this is about brainstorming, so we need to come up with ideas and improve aspects of that concept as well. So let's begin with the first concept, which is based on my initial thoughts and how I've made this a modular system. So this is my modular gravity-fed design that I put together. Excuse the rough sketch that I've done, but it's obviously when you're thinking, you just write things down very quickly. The whole design is based on ramps. Each module has 3 ramps stacked on top of each other, and the first ramp can hold up to 30 batteries. If I quickly show you this side sketch here, it shows you how the ramps push the batteries down and steer them into each of the different stages that are required for conditioning these batteries. The first module shows 2 openings. The first opening on the side is to eject the bad batteries, and the second opening, which is directly below, allows the batteries to proceed to the next stage. If we got 2 openings, it does mean that we're going to need a servo of some kind, and obviously the bad batteries are going to be obviously the ones that don't that overheat. So it means that we'll need an Arduino in this module to control that servo and that temperature gauge. If the batteries are charged well, it will obviously exit at the bottom, carry on down this ramp as it goes through, where at the very end we'll have an Arduino discharger. The reason I'm going for an Arduino discharger, probably in this concept and all the other concepts, is because we can data log the capacity of the battery using an SD card, but also we can have an LCD display that shows you the capacity of each of the batteries that are being discharged at that point. And of course, once that's been discharged and it's given the green light, that again will be ejected, possibly another servo, down this ramp here where it can be recharged using a TP4056 ready for storage. And this last box for storage doesn't really have any electronics, it just has the 3 ramps themselves to keep the batteries in order, and a fold down ramp which I call the writing station, and it's ergonomically positioned for you to write the numbers down. And you would use that display to read the capacity and write them down. Now with the ramp system is that if the discharger discharges 15 batteries consecutively, then obviously consecutively it would write down, it would note the capacities on that Arduino on that display, and they'd also be stored consecutively, so that as you read them and write them, those numbers would disappear. So if it's done 15 discharges there, it's done 15, it's stored 15 there. It can't be less or more, so you can't muddle them all up. The benefits of doing it in a modular system is that it means that, first of all, they are stackable. So you can somehow design 2 charging modules and have 1 discharging module, which would speed up the processes of discharging and charging. You can also service any of these modules, so you can remove that module, find out what's going wrong, put it back in. And thirdly, the manufacture of this is very simple. Each of these modules are exactly the same size, each of them share the same 3 ramps. They have only small differences in the design, which shouldn't affect how each of these modules are designed. So you can, in essence, have this as a flat pack kit with all the necessary components and the code that you need, and that could be shipped globally. If you don't have a laser cutter or something like that, but the designs can be put online for someone to do that for you, and then you would just assemble the kit. So that's the first concept I've got in Project Jehu, and we're calling this concept 1. The intention is that you can make comments in any design areas that I've maybe overlooked, or areas that could be in an improvement, and then taking those comments, I'll redraw this with those improvements and have a concept 1.1 video. And we can do that until we're satisfied that their design is going to work, and then try to look at some other concepts as well, and finally choose one that we can prototype from. Well, thank you for watching this episode. I know there hasn't been much of a build on this episode, but the intention is to talk about the design that we've got going on here and improve on this concept and see where this leads. Feel free to like, share or comment on this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel and see my other videos as well. For my next video, I'll introduce a second concept which I think you might find interesting. Thank you for watching. See you next time.